Hat, sunglasses, Pepsi, notes, sources, thick skin. Check. You already know. Let's go. Welcome to Golden Blue today, everybody. This is a college football channel. So if you like college football, hit the like and subscribe button. It's that simple. Also, send gear to represent your team and be a part of my background forever. All you have to do is send it to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. West Virginia finally does it. For the first time being in the Big 12, West Virginia does indeed beat Oklahoma 23-20. And this was a hard-fought win. And I know, Oklahoma not very good this year. They were 5-4 going into this game. West Virginia was 3-6 going into this game. And for now, West Virginia still has hopes of getting to a bowl. We still have to beat Kansas State at home. We still have to go on the road and beat Oklahoma State. But for now, we could still get bowl eligible. This was a gritty win. Still a sloppy game. Very sloppy game on both sides of the ball, both for West Virginia and Oklahoma. Both defenses couldn't tackle at all, but both offenses struggled as well. That kind of surprised me. The over-under for this game was 68 points, and the point total was 43 points altogether, well under the over on this one. So a low-scoring game, hard-fought game. You would call it defensively minded, but really it wasn't. Both offenses put over 400 yards on the opposing defenses, and neither defense looked good at all. Now, for West Virginia, the game kind of changed whenever Neal Brown benched JT Daniels and put in Garrett Greene. Garrett Greene took over the game, and he basically won this game for West Virginia. Now, I was hearing reports before this game that if Neal Brown lost this game to Oklahoma, that was it. He was going to be fired. So maybe Neal Brown saved his job, at least for this week. We'll see what happens going forward. But I was hearing from multiple sources, many sources, that if West Virginia lost to Oklahoma, Neal Brown was done. So my mindset going into this game was, well, I do hope we beat Oklahoma, even though Oklahoma is not very good. What would a win really mean to us? And if we lose to Oklahoma, we actually fire Neal Brown. So I was conflicted. I didn't realize just how good this win would feel. Well, let me tell you something. After beating Oklahoma, yes, a mediocre Oklahoma, I'm going to tell you, it was worth it. This feels really good. We were running out of chances to beat Oklahoma before they go to the SEC. This might have been our best chance. Oklahoma was down. Yes, we're a bad team, but it was in Morgantown. We did take advantage, and a questionable call by Brent Venables. It was in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma was driving. West Virginia was not tackling very well at all. We made one decent stop on a 3rd and 3, forced a 4th and 2, and instead of going for it, which I thought Oklahoma was going to go for it, Brent Venables decides to try a 46-yard field goal in the rain on a 4th and 2 on our side of the field when we weren't tackling. Now, the benefit or the reward would have been they scored 3 points. They would have been up 23-20. But what happens? The field goal kicker doinks it, and they missed it. That benefited West Virginia greatly. I thought Oklahoma was going to go for it. I thought Oklahoma should have gone for it because we weren't tackling at all. Instead, he decides to go for a field goal. They missed it. I'm going to also say about this. The reffing was horrible on both sides of the ball. Oklahoma got away with some bad calls, and West Virginia got away with some bad calls. There was one call where it was 4th and 10 where we late hit somebody on an interception that would have offset the penalties and would have kept it at a 4th and 16. But instead, they nullified the late hit and kept the offsides, and it turned into a 4th and 10. What happens? Garrett Greene converts and keeps the drive going. Garrett Greene ran for over 100 yards and threw for over 100 yards. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that Garrett Greene is Pat White. Not at all. What I'm saying is he reminds me of Pat White. The way he plays, the way we have to call the game whenever he's in the game. It reminds me of the offenses under Pat White. And Garrett Greene most definitely took over this game. There was like a different energy on the offense whenever Garrett Greene took over. And he led West Virginia to this victory. You could see the energy. You could see the passion. He wanted to be there. He wanted to win this game for West Virginia. And that's exactly what he did. He made 2 crucial 4th down conversions. One of them was a 4th and short. I think it's like 4th and 2 or 4th and 3. The other was that 4th and 10. Both were great throws. So the dude can actually throw. He's better with his legs, but the dude can actually throw. What does that remind you of? Who does that remind you of? It reminds you of Pat White. Now, he would have a long way to go to really draw any comparisons to Pat White. But as far as the way the offense looks like, it looks like a Pat White offense. This is exactly what West Virginia needed. Now, I don't know how I feel about Neal Brown keeping his job as of right now. I'm still soaking in this win. Maybe I can think about it over the next 24 hours or over the next week and give you my opinion, how I feel about it after that. But right now, I'm in the moment. I am enjoying this great win. I know, Oklahoma not very good. But remember, we have not beaten Oklahoma since we joined the Big 12. This is just as good, if not better, than what I imagined. And I was downplaying it before this game. I was saying, Oklahoma's not very good. We suck. And hey, if we lose, we're going to fire Neal Brown. I didn't realize just how good this win would feel. Let me tell you something. This feels amazing. Finally, it's once again a great day to be a Mountaineer. An awesome win for West Virginia. This puts us at 4-6. We still have a chance to get to a bowl. I mean, imagine that. Starting off 3-6, winning the last 3 games, going 6-6. That's not a bad way to end the season. Does that give us faith in Neal Brown? I don't know. I'm just not sure. I mean, 6-7 last year. Even if we get to a bowl, it's no improvement at all. I mean, finishing strong, yes. But we have been getting blown out. At least last year, 4 of our 6 losses were in 50-50 football games. This year, we're getting mostly blown out in our losses. So I'm not sure if I would think that or not. But his job is safe for now. I'll do a video on that later on. But for now, West Virginia beats Oklahoma. It feels really, really good. I'm glad. Running out of chances. Finally gets it done. And I feel bad for JT Daniels. I really do. JT Daniels didn't all of a sudden get bad when he arrived at West Virginia. The problem is, the JT Daniels that we saw at the beginning of the season, quite different from the JT Daniels that we've seen over the last 3 games. I think what's happened is the pressure, the losing, the bad defense just finally got to him. Because I watched him at the Backyard Brawl, and he looked like a really, really good quarterback. His pocket presence, his pocket awareness was great. He threw the ball very, very well, even in its deep ball. And here recently, he just hasn't looked the same. I just think the wear and tear of the season has gotten to him. Losing has gotten to him. Having a terrible defense finally got to him. And today the defense actually did better than usual. Still not great. Still sloppy. Still mistakes. But hey, we held Oklahoma to 20 points. And Oklahoma's strong suit is their offense. They don't have a good defense either. That's why the over-under was 68. But we do beat them 23-20, and we hold them to 20 points. Even though they had over 400 yards of offense on us, we held them to 20 points. And it came down to a final field goal, a last-minute field goal. Casey Legg pulls through, kicks it through. West Virginia wins 23-20. The reason I was nervous is earlier in the game we scored a touchdown, and we botched a point-after attempt, and Oklahoma actually picked it up and scored 2 points. So that was going through my head all over again. What if we botched the snap? And not only do we not win the game, Oklahoma picks it up, scores 2, and they win the football game. I'm telling you, if it can happen to anybody, it can happen to West Virginia. But the ball was fortunate to us today. He makes the field goal. West Virginia wins 23-20. I do feel bad for JT Daniels. I don't know what the future holds for him because he's not going to go to the NFL. His stock has plummeted. So his 2 options are stay at West Virginia or transfer to a different school. I think we will see JT Daniels transfer to another school. And I think he will do well at that other school and then go on to the NFL draft. I wish nothing but the best for JT Daniels if he does transfer out of West Virginia. It was just not the right fit for him. I feel bad for him. I know he was down today. He was yanked for Garrett Greene, and Garrett Greene goes on to lead West Virginia to a win. That's got to be a gut-busting feeling. So keep your head up, JT Daniels. You're still a good quarterback, and you'll have a future to wherever you transfer. And I do suggest that you transfer because West Virginia has not been kind to you. On a side note, Vanderbilt upsets Kentucky on the road 27-24. What's going on in college football today? That is crazy. Think about this. Vanderbilt upset Kentucky. If West Virginia would have lost today, Vanderbilt would have had a better record than West Virginia. But instead, our record stays the same. They're 4-6. We're 4-6. They have a chance to get to a bowl. We have a chance to get to a bowl. Things aren't quite that bad just yet. We'll see what happens with the home game against Kansas State and then the road trip to Oklahoma State. But right now, hey, let's just be in the moment and celebrate this win over Oklahoma. We'll worry about the future of Neal Brown come Monday morning. Y'all let me know in the comments section, what did you think about this game? What do you think about Neal Brown's future at West Virginia since we did win this football game? And what do you think about the future of JT Daniels? Do you think he ends up transferring? That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.